Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. You know what? I'm going to keep this in here because this is my job. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. I did it again. Jesus. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening to today's podcast under the umbrella of We the Culture. Before I get started, I just want you all to go ahead and search on Facebook, We the Culture, on Facebook. Go ahead and join that group. Also, go ahead and like. And I think I fixed the comments in the YouTube. So if you have any comments, definitely let me know. If not, I do apologize, and I'm gonna make sure I get that fixed. And also definitely subscribe. So today I have a really interesting show, and I just want to go ahead and get into it. White supremacy is something thrown around a lot as the detriment of African Americans, and rightfully so. Police brutality, which is kind of under white supremacy, is also a big issue that causes issues with Black America. But is it really the biggest issue that causes issues within the African American community? It's not. It's not. Let me tell you why it's not. And today's title is the bar really low for African Americans? And also, why do African Americans not have any substance as a whole? Think about it so we're going to just go ahead and get started and talk about why. And the most important reason why I feel like the standards are low is because we don't care about education. And yes, white supremacy has an effect on our school system, because they do control how much money our school districts get, and they do control whether or not to do certain things. But you know what? White supremacy does not have control over parents not giving a fuck about school. The biggest issue in the African American community is education, because we'll send our kids to school equipped with Air Force Ones and Ralph Lauren polo and the best looking haircuts. They fly top down, but they don't even have school supplies. And not only do they not have school supplies, they don't even know how to read or write. They don't even know that Africa is a continent. They think it's a country. But they could tell you what happened on Love and Hip Hop. That's the problem with us. And let's go ahead and get into it. Education is very important. It's the tool to get us out of this situation that we're in right now as being African Americans and not having the equal systems and everything. And I'm going to talk more about this at the end, because it's not just about going to college and stuff like that. But right now in high school, it is so easy to get a high school diploma. When I was a senior in high school, we were the first class to not have to take all of the Georgia graduation tests, meaning you had to at least pass all your ELCTs, and if you failed, you had to take your graduation test. So for me, I only had to pass my world history. I don't even remember. It was the history graduation test. I don't know if it was history or social studies, but I want to say it was history. And the reason why I didn't have to do it because I passed my math ELCT in 9th grade, so I didn't have to worry about that. I passed my language, all my English ELCTs in 9th and 10th grade, so I was good on that. I passed my ELCT in the 9th and 10th grade, I want to believe. I think I could have failed one in 10th grade, but I think I passed. So, long story short, I got my high school diploma because I passed the test, because a lot of people did not get their high school diploma. And before my class, you had to take and pass all of the graduation tests, meaning if you failed, you were not walking across the stage. So Why am I bringing this up? I was also a part of, if you in Atlanta, you know about this, especially if you went to APS, you know about the Atlanta public school cheating scandal. And the reason why it was so bad was because it was disenfranchising a lot of African American students. Because this is the most impoverished school district, probably in the major counties in the city of Atlanta. It's the city of Atlanta schools. So the reason why I didn't think it was a big deal from the teachers is because at a certain point, you should learn how to read, because that should be a standard. That's a standard operating procedure. Like, you should know how to read. That's one of the most basic fundamental things that you gotta know how to do. So if you can't read at 18, I can't blame the teacher. And I can't even really blame the parent. I have to blame you as a student. But you know why it's acceptable to be the freshest in the school but the dumbest person in the class? It's because our parents don't give a fuck about what we do, what they do as parents. It's acceptable to come home with a C, D, or F, and we just throw a party like it's 1999. At the end of the day, parents are more concerned about, these young parents are concerned about their kids being the freshest person in the class. You go out, they go all out. They go buy the Jordans, the Air Force Ones, the Air Maxes, the Adidas, but they don't spend $1 on the school supplies and then want to get mad at the teachers because the fact that they have to get certain things. Like, I will never forget when I used to go to school. Cause like, the funny thing about me was my 12th grade year, because I was living on my own at the time, I had to buy my own school supplies, but I bought them because I knew better. Like, and I did, and I got 2 pairs of shoes that year because I was working, but I made sure I had school supplies. I cannot tell you how many times, whether it was K through fucking 12th grade, how many times somebody will come at, hey, yo, bro, can I get a sheet of paper on the second or third day of school? Like, bro, did your mom not buy you that shit? And you look at these parents and they coddle these kids, both boys and girls, and they make it seem as if that's okay. When you see these kids get suspended, they get mad at the teacher, not their student, not their child. They get mad at the teacher for suspending them. And that's the issue. So I'm just breaking down why the standards are so low to being black. I'm going to break it down to a science. But the one thing that I will say, and this is going to offend some people, and I honestly do not give a fuck. The reason why we have these problems is because we raise our boys to be shitty ass men. In some cases, they get these girls pregnant at 15, 16. They don't take care of their kids. These girls are not grown up. They're forced to take care of these kids. And oftentimes they have boys, and they're doing the same thing to the boys because that's how they were. And then they don't give a fuck about shit. And then they send their kids, and then they can repeat a cycle. This whole shit is a cycle. I don't give a damn, like, if you were married or whatever and you got your shit together. It's a fucking cycle. These parents do not give a fuck because it's a cycle of ignorance. You want to know why we don't take another reason why we don't take education seriously is because we've been telling ourselves this whole entire time that we dumb as fuck. I promise you that when I used to go, because I catch Marta a lot, and there were days, because I'm not going to sit for a lot, I wasn't a perfect student. I think I talked about that in the last video. But there were times where I actually had to do stuff. So my 12th grade year, I was able to check myself out of school because I was my own guardian. And sometimes because there was one time I had to go down to 5 Point train station, which is the major train station in Atlanta on Marta's system. And because I had lost something, and I had to go to lost and found, which means I had to leave school early. And basically, when I tell you there was this girl who had like 3 kids, and she couldn't have been no more than like 25. And she was just like, bitch, fuck you, you dumbass bitch. And this girl was like, and her kids were like no older than 5 years old. Had to be like 5 or maybe 2. And I'm like, why do you feel like it's acceptable to call your kids bitches and stupid and dumb? Like, do you not love your child? And that's an aside. This is an aside, but I don't get why parents curse at their fucking kids, or call them bitches and hoes and shit. Cause you know how much mental anguish you giving your fucking kids. But anyway, the reason why I knew that this was a cycle that was creating itself, because she was fucking dumb. And let's just be honest. She couldn't, her English was fucked up. She wasn't speaking proper English. She was just downtown. If you are familiar with the downtown 5 Points area, you see this shit all the time. You're gonna see dudes out there just standing about off of Alabama by that old CVS in front of the 5 Points MARTA station where you go catch the buses at. Where, like, if you familiar with MARTA, it's where the 51 is at, it's where the 42 is at, and it's another bus over there as well. Dudes be standing out there, and you seeing none but just women ganged up with small kids, just downtown. But those were the same kids that probably, and I'm just gonna be honest, this is a generational problem, but these are probably the same kids that were popular in school, and they had the freshest outfits, but they couldn't read a fucking lick. You know how embarrassing this is? Everybody has this story. Everybody knows a time when it was like when you was in middle school and probably in high school as well. When you was reading, like you were probably like reading class, and you had to read a certain you had to read a certain passage, whether it was in like a book or just something, because you want to get everybody's reading skills. And we had that time where you had to pick somebody to fucking read. And we would always pick somebody that could not read. Why? Because it was going to be funny as hell. That's embarrassing to be in middle school and not know how to fucking read. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And the girl, I don't even know her name, so I don't have to mention it anyway. But the girl in the class was a popular kid in a sense. She used to wear Air Force Ones. She used to have the nicest outfits, but was dumb as shit. Why? Because our parents put issues, like, we'll invest in some bullshit for our kids, but we'll never invest in like tutors or like making sure that they're invested. Do you know how bad it is how certain schools have to beg these parents to come to PTA meetings or when they have to do like special sit downs with these parents, because these parents don't show the fuck up. Now, there are certain parents who I would, like my mom, who couldn't come because she had to work. And my mom was really good at being really attentive in school. And you can tell who parents give a fuck versus who parents don't give a fuck. But the reason why the standards are so fucking low is because it starts with the educational system. So, like I said, these parents send these kids to school with no school supplies. They fell in. They send their kids to school. Their kids act a fool. The parents don't do shit about it. And then we wonder why these teachers get stressed the fuck out and don't want to teach in our fucking schools. It's not the school system's fault that these scores are so fucking low. It's because if I was a school superintendent today, I would give people more money if they taught in inner city schools than if they taught in Gwinnett County, something like that. Why? Because they have to deal with so fucking much. Now, when I was coming up, it was still bad, but you had parents who actually gave a fuck. But it goes back to that cycle. When you have kids having kids, it doesn't matter. Got another example. There was this lunch lady who worked at one of the schools that I used to work at. Not gonna mention which school because I ain't trying to get no issues. And if you probably went to Tri-Cities, you probably know who I'm talking about. But there was this. See, I just gave it away. Anyway, but there was a person that used to work at Tri-Cities. She was not a teacher. She was a lunch lady, and she had a daughter that went there, and both of them were ignorant as shit. I'll never forget, and I don't give a fuck, because who gives a fuck, right? The girl who had the mother that worked there at Tri-Cities was dating somebody who killed somebody. And I will never forget this because we was in math class. I was taking math support. This girl, because the girl's, I guess, boyfriend or whatever, killed himself in prison. And she uttered out the words, "Fuck that nigga he killed." Now I'm just gonna pause the show and I'm just gonna let dead air just play, because think about that. This girl said, "Fuck the person he killed." Like, who the fuck thinks like that? But you know why she thought like that? Because it was a recycle repeating itself. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and bash women, and I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem like men don't do shit, because trust me, I got some shit coming up too about men as well. And that's the sad reality, and I'm not going to sit up here like, it's a sad reality that single mothers are single mothers because men leave them to be single mothers. And I'm not going to sit up here and shame that. But we can't sit up here and put past the fact that a lot of our parents are ignorant as hell. Why? Because we didn't take education seriously, which leads me to another point. And this has happened in my family, and I don't give a fuck who gets mad about it or not. Favoritism is a real thing, and it happens in all families, so just note this. But this is some real shit. Somebody can go to college and be successful and struggle and won't get a goddamn dime, and they struggling in college. But let somebody go to fucking jail, or they go to fucking prison. The person that goes to jail gets all the support in the fucking world. Oh, hold your head down, free homeboy, like whatever. But then when it's somebody going to college, it's crickets. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I would want somebody to support the person who's going to college because they're trying to better themselves. But somebody who's constantly in prison or constantly in jail, they the ones that deserve support. You know why the person deserves who gets the support when they go to jail? It's because we don't give a fuck about bettering ourselves. We can't blame white supremacy if we don't get our shit in order. You once again cannot blame white supremacy until we get our shit in order. Yes, white supremacy has a lot. I would say it's like 60-40 white supremacy, but it's 40% of our own fucking doing. We love the ratchetness and we love being ignorant. We do. And if we took education seriously, we'll be in a better position because we'll be more educated. You know why they make fun of us for, being baby mamas and deadbeat dads and junkies and all this and that? It's because we are. And as much as of a Democrat as I am, and as much as I like to defend ourselves, talking about white supremacy, this, that, and third, we proved them fucking right. This is a perfect example, and I got stories for days. When I was in high school, I went to a job fair in 10th grade. This is the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue by where the old Cake Mart used to be. I was looking for a job. So I went to it for a job interview. And now this was at McDonald's, so if whatever that means, that's what it was. So I went to a job interview for McDonald's. And when I tell you, there was some, now, and you got to also take this into consideration. This was during a recession. This is like when Barack Obama was on his first term. This was when the recession was just like starting to end. But nobody could find a job. So let's put that into consideration as well. When I tell you that there were so many people that did not deserve a fucking job there, the manager there was ignorant. But let me tell you how some of the candidates dressed and some of the shit that they said. One of the candidates was sagging his fucking pants. Legit walked up and was sagging his fucking pants. And he pulled up his pants because his pants was sagging. Also, there was this lady And she was a big lady, and it's not really like sagging your pants, but she was not dressed appropriate. Like her whole stomach was out. And I'm just like thinking, I'm professionally dressed. I got my resume. Because it was like everybody and their mama was here because everybody was looking for a job. And there was this one man who I wish got the job because he actually was dressed appropriate for the job. But there were some people that was dressed like they was going to the club. There were some people that was dressed like they just woke up out of bed. You can't do that on a job interview. But my favorite thing that I heard at that store that fucking day was the fact that this girl yelled out, "Yeah, I suck dick." She yelled out loud, "Yeah, I suck dick." And everybody like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, yo, where's the professionalism here? Yo, like, I get it. It's Cleveland Avenue. But for real, like, come on. Like, are we really doing this right now? Like, I know, like, we all looking for a fucking job right now. This motherfucker, and I'm gonna say this bitch, because that's what she sounded like, was like, "I suck dick." And I'm just like, man, ain't no fucking way. And then when I finally got interviewed after staying there for probably like 8 hours, the nigga didn't even give a fuck. The manager was so unprofessional that fucking day because all he was looking for was getting some fucking pussy. That's all he was looking for. And my interview was like 30 seconds. But girls, he was talking to them for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I thank God I didn't get that job because I ain't never had a job at that point. And I probably would have been excited if I got it, but I'm glad I didn't get that job. Why? Because I didn't deserve to be there. But if you go back to what I was talking about earlier in this podcast, everybody, like I have said, that we live in a society where it's cool to be a single mother. And I'm not sitting here and saying that like it's all women's fault, because trust me, it's not. But the society deems us and our women as single mothers who are bitter. That's how the media portrays us. The media has this way of portraying us because we allow them to let them portray us like that. And it's not because we're saying, hey, yeah, that's us. Woohoo, that is us. No, it's because it was through our actions. One of the things that I have learned in life is you can say a lot of shit. You can speak to your death and say, yeah, I do this and I do that, but your actions can speak differently. Like I could be a stone cold drug addict and I could say, yeah, I'm gonna try to do better. I'm gonna get off the drugs, and I go light up I go to light up a fucking joint after this. Like I really want y'all to think about this. Like this is some real shit. Like this is the uncomfortable conversation that we do have to have. Like we get mad when people call us out for our shit, but then when we do dumb shit, like we wanna stand up for it and embrace it, in my opinion. And when it comes to education, we don't give a fuck. We be so mad, like we legit be so mad when these parents be mad as fuck when the teacher put their hand on the student, but they don't get mad and ask why they do that in the first place. And I hear it every single fucking time because it happens every fucking year. The only reason it ain't happened this year because of COVID. But every year, a student has got hit. There is a video of my alma mater, Tri-Cities, where a student was beating a teacher's ass. Why? Because the teacher didn't fight back. Now I guarantee you, if that happened and it was the reverse, it would be cause for that fucking teacher to be fired and never teach again. But people was applauding this dude for whooping the teacher's ass. Like, yo, now don't get me wrong, I was not the best student. I was a bad student and I used to get in trouble a lot. But I knew my limits. I was never gonna put my hands on a motherfucking teacher. Because I have respect, because my mom instilled respect into me to respect others and treat people how I want to be treated. Now, I have did some shit. I did get suspended in 6th grade for telling the teacher to suck my dick. That's the worst thing, and I deserve to get suspended. But I would never put my hands on a fucking teacher because their respect level is there. But you wonder why. See, and that's why I'm saying the issue is these fucking parents. It's the fucking parents who don't give a fuck. They send their kids to go to school to look fly and do this. They get these girls pregnant. And then they do the same. And it's a cycle. It's a cycle, a continuating cycle. And it brings me to my next fucking point. And I was originally going to talk about religion. And I'm just basically holding that in the chamber when I don't have nothing to talk about. But one of the good things that I did like about Christianity, and there's some negative things about this, was the fact that the church will hold you accountable. But the reason why it's negative is because it came with like a lot of judging and a lot of like basically making people feel like they're not good. But you know why teenage pregnancy was condemned at? It's because of the simple fact that you were not supposed to get pregnant because you was gonna get ridiculed. But society celebrates teenage pregnancy now. Oh, you 17 and pregnant? Let's have a baby shower. Woohoo! Yeah, man. Like, for real. And I'm not, and like I said, this is like, boys need to be held accountable too. Because some of these dudes be getting these bitches pregnant, or females, let me not call these women bitches, but some of these dudes get these women pregnant. And it's just like, damn, nobody's going to hold him accountable. Like right now, NBA Youngboy is like 21 years old. I am like 6 years older than him right now. And this dude already got more kids than me and my sister combined. And my sister is 40. So, like, nobody's holding him accountable. So, we live in a society that celebrates early birth. And yeah, shit happens and you make a mistake in here and there. But the reason why it's celebrated is because the same person go do the same shit again. There's no lesson learned. Like when you make a mistake, because I'm not sitting here saying a baby is a mistake. But when you do that, you got to understand that you got to come into an adulthood. But at the end of the day, this didn't happen it did happen. But when it happened, you had to grow the fuck up and you had to make a decision. Nobody was celebrating teenage pregnancies. Now, if you 18, you grown, whatever. But 16-year-olds should not be having fucking baby showers celebrated by their fucking mom. Like, they ain't no fucking way. Now, I come from a generation where grandmas was 35 years old. So, I mean, what the fuck? But the reason why people don't take education seriously is because we have kids raising kids. You know why we have an issue with crime? Somewhat to do with white supremacy. But when you have 14-year-olds robbing and killing adults, why? There's a saying that it always starts at home. So, and my mom used to always tell me, remember that you're a reflection of me. So, I'm just going to put two and two together. If I see a 14-year-old, multiple 14-year-olds robbing, raping, stabbing, shooting, people like who have paved the way for us to be in this position, then what the fuck? And I'll never forget, there was this lady, because she was around where my uncle stays at. This is I think it was a Chevron by the Indian Creek train station in Stone Mountain off of Redan Road. Girl got killed by some teenagers. And there was this girl who came out and said, and instead of not just holding the boys who did it accountable, because like I said, these were some 14-year-olds. These wasn't no grown-ass men doing this shit. These were fucking kids. It's going through puberty. Not even fully developed yet. Like 14 years old. Like 14, shit, I was doing stupid shit, but I wasn't doing this shit. 14-year-olds killed this lady, and then the girl come out and basically say that the girl who did it was a dumbass, because she should have gave up her keys. That was a dumb move. Like they did what they had to do. And then she doubled down and defended what she said. Now, if that ain't ignorant, I don't know what is. And why would she have that thinking? Now, I don't know if she had kids at the time, but if she had sons, oh boy, I'll be scared as fuck for her. Because there are some women on my page. There's two of them actually. One I deleted, one I didn't delete. Who was like, yeah, I want my son to be a savage. I want my son to be a thug. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck? You don't want your son to be an engineer. You don't want your son to be the second president. Like you don't want nothing. You don't want him to be nothing. You just want him to be a stereotype. And the one girl I deleted because she was already ignorant anyway. But yeah, I'm like, yo, like, really? That's what you want your son to be? And we live in a society where that shit is cool, but it really ain't. Like, you got like kids taking adult lives who work their ass off for the shit. And they doing it just because. Like, and I think that's like a problem that nobody ever wants to address. Yeah, because people don't like the fact that people actually target single mothers. They like to deflect. Oh, what about these men? What about them? Like, for real, what about them? Because and that's why we always got to be accountable for our actions. Yes, your man ain't shit and he should be talked about. But at the end of the day, you probably knew he wasn't shit when you fucking laid down with him. Like, I don't know if I'm preaching or not, but I feel like I am. And yeah, somebody gonna be like, well, yeah. No, like, for real. You laid in that bed, literally laid in the bed or whatever you conceived, had sex with this lame ass nigga, what you like to call him. You had a child. You probably had another child with him. He's a lame ass nigga. And then you had another child with him. And then probably like after 3 kids, you probably like, nah, he ain't shit. And he ain't shit. And black man ain't shit. Why? It's because the man that you was dealing with ain't shit. But you'll never get the real man who out here doing what they supposed to do a real fucking chance. Because you don't fucking think that he's cool. Why? Because he probably educated. Like, seriously. He's probably too educated. And you feel like he's a lame ass nigga. Because he's educated. Like, that's some real shit. Like, I'm not even fucking playing when I say that. That is some real fucking shit. And I apologize if you don't like the cursing, I apologize. But we're just keeping it real on this fucking show. Like, we just keeping it real. Like, we got, like I said, there's 2 parts to every fucking situation. Yes, we gotta hold these black men accountable for not being, the dads that they need to be. Yes, we do, because it does matter. And that's why I always say it's 2 parts to everything. But the reason why we only go hard on the women is by default. Because it's kind of like you don't have no choice. Like, it's really sad that we live in a generation where if somebody have kids, we just automatically assume that they're a single mother. And yes, my wife likes to make a good point that at the end of the day, it could be because they got married and got divorced. Yeah, but there's a difference between being a baby mama and somebody who's just a single mother. And notice, I have not said anything about single mothers. I have said, well, I probably did, but I was meaning baby mamas. Baby mothers are the type of people that are fucked up. Single mothers are just people who are of a circumstance. So, with that being said, the baby mamas are the one who is raising these badass fucking kids who are doing what they're fucking doing. These are the same parents, and this was going on as I was growing up. I had a next door neighbor. Now, I don't know if it was the dad there or not, But she allowed her son to be, all her fucking kids really, to be gang members. Why? Because she probably thought that shit was cool. There are parents that let their kids smoke weed at 3 years old. There are mothers who let there are mothers and sometimes fathers who let their fucking kids get twerked on. Or let them twerk. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I get that twerking is a part of African culture. But do y'all really believe that twerking is as a skill that you should be displaying just because? The bar is so low with African Americans, and this is what I was really going to talk about as a full subject, but it really needs to be dissected through lens, and this is going to be on probably another episode as well. This is like part 1. But think about it like this. You are a hardworking black man. You spend your hard-earned money as a lawyer building up your money to create a restaurant exclusively for black people because you want to embrace the black culture. And then somebody comes in your fucking restaurant and is causing a fucking scene. Like, think about that. People don't understand that that man was absolutely fucking right. Now, I just seen a video of some shit going down in the sugar factory in Atlanta. I'm not going to talk about that because that's just an outlier. But do you really think about it like this. You know how many fucking times we have boycotted in the city of Atlanta because pretty much a white restaurant has basically not allowed us to come in? Like, there was a situation where this dude in Atlanta couldn't even get into a sushi restaurant because he had some Air Force Ones. Now, I personally don't like Air Force Ones, but that's not a bad shoe to wear. They won't let this man in here. There has been different places that have been discriminate against African Americans. And that's the word I do want to use, discriminate, because of the color of our skin. Yet, we flock to these places. We go to these places and we be on our fucking best behavior. But when it comes to our shit, the price is too high. I don't like that shit. His food nasty. And I'm gonna twerk on this man's fucking furniture. And like, the people that came out and defended that lady are some assholes. Who the fuck thinks that that's okay to just do that shit? But you know why people thought it was okay? Because the standards have been fucking low for black people for years, and we accept that behavior. That's not shit that we supposed to accept. How in the fuck are we sitting up here talking about we want to defund the police and we want action against us and we want to take back what was ours and we want equal treatment when we act a fucking asshole, like some ignorance, like we act ignorant? Like, that's not okay. How do we want to be accepted as black men when we fucking hurt our women, when we don't protect our women in certain cases, when we dog them the fuck out, aka Tory Lanez? Because I don't want y'all to think that, this is some man, I'm just bashing women. No, because the men ain't shit either. It's like, it's a collective fucking unit. There are fucking couples that be on Cleveland Avenue walking down the street in their pajamas high as hell trying to go get some fucking shit because they don't fucking work. And they want to depend on the fucking system. We live in a society that basically rewards ignorance. And you know why white people love the ignorance? It's because that's what they think of us. But when we actually don't show them that, a la Barack Obama, they don't like that shit. You know why? Because that's not what they think of us. So when we do nigga shit, when we twerking on fucking shit, when we, dancing at the fucking Lakers game, half fucking naked, big as hell, they like that shit. Because it takes them back to slavery when they used to just buy tickets to come see us on exhibit naked. Why you like, for real? I love sports, but you know why white people love college football, especially in the fucking South? is because it takes them back to when their ancestors used to own us and they used to do this and they used to watch us do the shit that they do because it's entertainment to them. But let us speak out about equality. Oh, fuck them niggers. Like, that's some real shit. We have to get to a point where we understand the fucking game. Like, think about it like this. You know why? And I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be very controversial, but I don't give a fuck. You know why white women stand behind ignorant black women and ignorant black men and gay people? It's because they have an agenda of their own, and they protect ignorant black women shit because they know if regular people say fuck that, oh, we're not supportive. And they're gonna turn their backs on black men, real black men, and they're gonna side with the women, and the women gonna get what they fucking want, white women. Cause tell me a fucking time where somebody did something ignorant and white people wasn't defending, at saying that's ignorant. Prime example, case in fucking point, and this is some political shit. There was a video in Atlanta where this lady had, and I got two examples of this shit. So both one a female and a dude. But let's go to the female. I don't know the girl name. Don't care. It don't fucking matter. The girl was trying to get black men to vote. So you know what she thought about? Excuse me. She decided to get some strippers to get black men to go vote. How ignorant is that? You know who thought that was a great idea? White women. Why? Because it's ignorant. And also, it helps their agenda. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Another example, because it goes on both sides. Dude, there was a guy who was a gay African-American male who wrote this play called Slave Play. This was a couple years ago. You can look this shit up. It was a play called Slave Play. And it was a mockery of African-Americans. And let's think about it like this. Yeah, we support women. We support Megan Thee Stallion. We support Breonna Taylor. But where was y'all support when these women are going through the shit that they're going through because they're caught up in the system with these predators who are basically forcing them against their will, and they kill the fucking people and then they go to trial? It's fucking crickets. Why? Because it doesn't fit your agenda. Because it's actually they standing up for themselves. So you mean to tell me, and I'm not saying that Breonna Taylor and Megan Thee Stallion don't deserve support, because they do. Especially Breonna Taylor. Because she got killed for some stupid shit. But you mean to tell me that the girl in Tennessee, and her name is skipping me right now, but the girl in Tennessee who killed the dude who was basically raping her, because she was like caught up in some shit, she don't deserve support? Y'all gotta understand the game that's going on. So when these people are basically saying that we're wrong for saying that girl was fucking dead wrong for standing on some shit that she probably can't even afford to fix, we're celebrating the fact that this girl was twerking. And I'm gonna be real with you, and like I was trying to say, yes, twerking is of African culture, and yes, but it's fucking ignorant at times. I should, like, if you really are a professional, or you trying to be a professional, why in the hell do you think twerking is cute? Twerking. And I'm gonna tell you something else that's really fucking stupid, and why these people don't give a fuck, because that's what they expect, is saying that you are alcoholic and blowing weed smoke. Like, who the fuck do that? That is so fucking ignorant. It don't hit me with the, oh, well, white people do it too. Well, white people can get away with that. Like I said, we live in a culture of white supremacy, but white supremacists allow you to be a cokehead and still be a producer. Tim Allen. Or fucking Iron Man. Not Tony Stark. I forgot the dude's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Shit, Whitney Houston dies, crackhead. If Tim Allen dies right now, oh man, you remember that show Home Improvement? He was on Toy Story. They're not gonna even mention the fact that this dude was a big time drug dealer. When Bobby Brown dies, crackhead, crack ass cracker. That's what we gonna call that man. The media has controlled us for so long to make us think that ignorance is a good thing. Because let's be also real. We'll spend thousands of dollars on a baby shower because we know we're not gonna get married, but we won't spend $100 to take the ACT. Boy, we will spend $1,000 on a baby shower. We'll spend $1,000 on a prom, but we can't even drop $100 to take the ACT or get ACT prep. Boy, if I had a bomb, I'd drop it right now. That's some real shit. We'll spend $250 on some phones for our kids to go to school with, but we won't buy $250 for them to make sure that they pass the test that they need to pass to go to college or whatever they need to do. And why is that? You can't blame white people for that. No, you cannot. You cannot blame white people for that. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I fucked the bag up. And no, I'm not perfect because I was a badass student. I made straight C's and it was my fault. Up until I got to high school. I went to Alabama State. I didn't finish. I went to Georgia State. I'm still technically a student, but I'm not going to finish because I decided I'm not going to school for different reasons. But I got my high school diploma. And this ain't, I got mine, go get yours. No. What I'm saying is, I see the bigger picture. So, when I want to get these jobs, and it's not, I don't want to hear, oh, you got to pretend to be something that you're not just to get. No, it's not. You shouldn't want to be ignorant in the first place. You shouldn't be dressing like you going to the club just to go get some fucking chicken from Big Daddy's. You shouldn't be wearing fucking wigs at your fucking job. That's ghetto as hell. Like, what? Why is it so cool to be fucking ghetto? Like, it ain't, that ain't it. That ain't it. And I said a lot in here, and I probably got off topic, but this is where it has to go. Because I just talked, and the subject matter just keep coming. We got to get better at making sure that education is important. We got to get back to actually raising our kids. Because it ain't no better that if you just letting iPad and Apple and Galaxies and raise your kids. Like, if you beat your kid, because you gotta think, if you should beat your kid and they'll fix it. No. Because whooping a kid ain't gonna fix shit if you don't teach them why you whooping them. And it's not even the fact that you need to beat them. You actually need to talk to them, have a relationship with them, and know what they're doing is right and wrong. Because these kids these days don't know right from wrong. And then you wonder why we have RIP shirts. Because I'll never forget, there was a situation in, I think, Rockdale County, Georgia, which is east of Atlanta, past Stonecrest Mall. For those who know where Stonecrest is at. There was a situation, I think it was like 3 or 4 boys had broken into this man's house. And the homeowner killed, I think, all of them. And they legit had a fucking press conference. And these, whatever you want to call it, black women were mad at the homeowner for killing them. Saying he didn't have to kill them. Why are they breaking into homes in the fucking first place? We gotta hold ourselves accountable, and that's all I'm gonna say. So, if you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but that's some real shit. Is white supremacy real? Absolutely. Can we do better? Like, can you legit say all the issues that African Americans face are because of white supremacy? No, they're not. Why do you think Maury is one of the highest rated? And I've heard people say, "Oh, look, they have white people on that show too. Or they have white people on the divorce court, and they have people on the fraternity test courts and all that shit." But you know why black people make up the majority of that shit? Is because white people love seeing that shit. White people love seeing ignorance. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna close like I'm a preacher. Love and Hip Hop has been on TV, I think, since 2010 or 2011 with Love and Hip Hop New York. And it is still on TV to this day. Why nobody is calling out Mona Scott Young for basically appropriating black culture? Like, I'm just gonna ask this question. I'm gonna wait. And I want you to really think about this. And don't give me Cardi B. What has Love and Hip Hop done positively for the African American community? Crickets, right? You couldn't think about nothing. Mona Scott Young, and if you said that, oh, they got money, they got paid, they like, and then whatever, money ain't shit. If money is the only thing that you see as success, you are a really ignorant ass person, because money ain't shit. Money will get your ass killed. Money is the root of all evil. All money ain't good money, and know that. So, like, prime example, when Mimi Foss did that porn shit back whatever season that was, people was defending her. Oh, she getting that bag. But what's a bag when you basically are selling yourself, and you selling your soul for a piece of money that's gonna be easily spent and probably gonna get blowed. I thought she was a business owner at that point. That's way more respectable. And that's another thing. Like, there's so much stuff I can talk about in this episode, but I'm coming up on an hour. You got girls on OnlyFans who are proud of the fact to be on OnlyFans. You got girls proud of being prostitutes. You got now, I know people not gonna sit up and like this, but there was a girl in that video WAP, Suki Hana, who is basically bashing women for being wholesome. She basically is proud to be a hoe. I have never lived in a generation where a man or woman was proud to be a fucking hoe. And basically what she was saying was a prostitute, because she was talking about getting money from dudes. So if you're fucking somebody to get paid, I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. You're a prostitute. Proud of it. You got men proud of being deadbeat dads. You got men proud of being thugs. You got men proud of killing people. Like, and on some real nigga shit, and this is some real shit, you got dudes that don't even want to fight no more. Now, I come up in a situation where I had to fight. I'm coming from Camden Road, and then I moved to East Point. Did I lose some fights? Absolutely. Did I win some? Yes, I did. But at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, you can never sit up here and question the heart of a fucking man if he throw hands with you, regardless if whoever wanted to fight or not. But you got so many fucking bitches who don't want to fight, but they'll pull out a gun and act like they the tough guy after getting their ass beat. Quando Rondo, whatever the fuck his name is. So, I'm gonna just wrap this up because I can go on for hours, but I want you guys to know that I like to keep my shit down to at least an hour. We have to do better. So, what I want to close with is these few points. White supremacy is real. It does affect everything that's going on. But we don't take education seriously. We don't take ignorance. We think ignorance is cute. And we don't raise our kids anymore. This is the issue that we have. So when you say, oh, we need to do this, and we need to get this, and we need to get that, you gotta bring shit to the table. Now, would I say that the civil rights movement, some of this shit was going on? I would say no. It probably did, but you didn't know about it. You know why? Because everybody was on one fucking code. So how can Martin Luther King, I'm gonna just put this in an example. How can Martin Luther King ask for, things to change when we basically out here don't value each other's life? Like, Martin Luther King would not exist right now. He couldn't say that, talk about how, and this is the issue, the reason why I don't fuck with the whole the black on black crime shit, because white people kill themselves, kill each other as well. Mexicans kill Mexicans, Asians kill Asians. But the issue that we do have is white supremacy. Now that I would agree. Now, that is a story for another day, and I'm gonna give a snippet of why that is the case. Because white supremacy has allowed us to kill each other because of the lack of funds that we don't have, the lack of stuff that we don't have. But we make it bad because we don't fight for it. We just live content with it. Like, for example, I graduated from Fulton County Schools. I graduated from Tri-Cities High School in 2013. Tri-Cities could not compete with any other schools on the north side. That's Alpharetta High School, Roswell, Milton, Centennial, all those schools up north. You know why? Because those schools get funding and they have more, but they also have more parent involvement. Now, I would like to say that some people cannot make it because they work 2 and 3 jobs. They're struggling. But there's some people who just don't give a fuck. Because they kids come in wearing the nicest Air Force Ones, but they got an air fucking head of a fucking child. So, like, that's just really what it is, man. We got to do better, man. Like, for real. So, that girl, if you supported that girl twerking, I want you to listen to this. And if you listen to this up until this point, first of all, thank you. But I also want you to think about how that makes us look as a whole. Because one thing about it, if you come from a black parent household, you were not supposed to embarrass your parents. Because if you did, you was going to get your ass beat. Today, it is like, oh, I'm on TV breaking the law. I don't give a fuck. Because my mom don't give a fuck. I go to jail, my mom going to get me out and pretend like nothing happened. And this is another thing, and I'm really wrapping this up at this point. Now, me and my wife had this discussion. I said that if my kids go to prison or go to jail for something that they really did, I don't give a damn if it was something stupid, petty like food stamp fraud. You will not get no money from me. Why? Because I raised you right enough to know better and do better. And how I look at it, like, why do we, and I did talk about this earlier in this podcast, but we are so quick to support people who are constantly in and out of jail, but you'll never tell them to get right and stop going to jail. You'll just continue to blindly support them. Why? Because you clearly don't give a fuck about your kids. If you did, you would raise them to be better, and you would teach them to be better. Now, certain cases, people got addictions and stuff like that. That's beyond your control. But if your kid keeps going to jail for like robbery, second-degree arson, assault with a deadly weapon, that's like what, and you continue to support your child. The jokes is not on them. The jokes is on you. So with that being said, I'm going ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for listening to today's show. My name is Tyrone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, or because of what I said, I do hope that you will leave a comment and explain why do you feel that way, the way that you feel. But I hope that we all can really come to an understanding of what a common goal is. Before I leave, like I said earlier, if you love what you're hearing, I do have a Facebook group that I am trying to grow. It's called We the Culture. You can search it on Facebook. I also am. You can also subscribe to me. Excuse me. You can also subscribe to me here on this YouTube channel. And last but not least, thank you. Yes, thank you for listening. I do have more content coming out later this week. So I really do appreciate you for listening. My name is Tyrone. I'm honored to be your host of this experience. Thank you for listening. You guys have a wonderful day.